Welcome to my BCM 325 beta presentation. Just for a little recap on what we are doing, we are looking at future societies and having a breakdown of technologies depicted in these societies to see if they would in fact work in a reality. We're doing this by holistically analysing episodes of Black Mirror and other films, and by doing so we're able to look at the positives and negatives of each technology. We've chosen a blog format to showcase our DA. We've used a divide and conquer approach and have split into two groups. And whilst we're writing about the same ideas, we are looking at different technologies. Because we have split up into two groups, we decided that it would be best if I wrote my blogs on my personal account and Daniel did the same. And then from there, we would repost my blogs onto the category that Daniel has made called Future Societies. So for my public audiences, I tried to use subreddits and Discord servers. And as you'll see here, I tried to engage. I posted a few things here and there, but there wasn't really much luck. This didn't work. Being an older series, the forum servers, Reddits, and discussions have already been had. It's really hard to engage with an audience that has already engaged with the material. Going forwards with this, I definitely need to find a different avenue to look at my feedback loop. I want to start looking into Twitter and discussing with our BCM 325 hashtag and just really engaging with our audience. So the changes that I made throughout the ideation phase of my DA was actually looking at the series of questions that I was asking. I noticed that the questions that I was asking within the blogs was actually getting quite restricting. Rather than sticking to a set list of questions, I chose to use those lists of questions to be a guideline and foundation to spark conversation. Looking into Alvin Toffler's 1970 book, Future Shock, he explains on page 11 that future shock is a time phenomenon, a product of the greatly accelerated rate of change in society. Each film and episode we look into within the DA supports Toffler's point. So far, having looked into episodes within the Black Mirror series, the effects of future shock, I believe, are what comes after finishing the film. It's the realization that this type of technology is not as far-fetched as it may seem. With technology developing at such a rapid rate, future shock, I would personally say, is more relevant now than it was before. Not to say that technology hasn't been rapidly increasing since the release of Toffler's book, but I believe that technology is more accessible to a wider amount of audiences and is able to be developed in a number of different ways that it wasn't at the time of this book's release. When looking at future societies as explored by the films and episodes we've looked into, we are not only looking into the technology itself, but using a holistic approach to see how these societies would function. Angus said early on that those who invented the car also invented the car crash. Using this as the basis of our discussion on each type of technology, we are able to look at not only the benefits of the car, how it improves our lifestyle, but how it can also be hazardous. And if it has implications, what are they and how can they be avoided? Moving forwards for week 13 submission. In order to wrap this DA up, it is important that we add more content. We as a group definitely need to release more content for our audience to engage with, and we definitely need a stronger feedback loop. Our current feedback loop is incredibly weak and we need to reevaluate this and push forwards. By doing both of these things, I believe that we're well on our way to having a professional DA ready for submission